You're listening to Ear to the Ground podcast. Hello and welcome to the Ear to the Ground podcast, where we give you the latest TV, music and movie news. I'm Danny and I'm here with Billy.
Yep, and today we're going to be talking about reviewing the TV series Back, the channel that's on Channel 4, the TV series Ill Behaviour, which is on BBC Two, and the films, which is Stephen King's It, and in the run-up to the second Kingsman, The Secret Service.
Yeah, so we've got a great show lined up, haven't we? With plenty to talk about. We're going to kick off and start off with our news. So
it's come out this week that Sofia Vergara of Modern Family fame is the highest paid TV actress for the 6th year running. She earns just over $41 million. I'm not sure if that's just from TV earnings, because she was in the Emoji Movie, which everybody knows is the best film.
So she plays Gloria in Modern Family, doesn't she?
Does.
The dad's wife. Sorry, not the dad. And it is a mega.
It's quite a big sitcom.
Yeah.
It's very long running now as well.
I don't even know how many. It's got a lot of series 9. It must have
series
more.
9. Wow, I think I stopped watching it about 5. 4.
Yeah, but there's series 9. There's series 9 episode 2, but there's 22 episodes in each series. So you can imagine there is a lot of series to get through. A lot of episodes, but they are pretty easy to watch, aren't they? I find them.
Yeah,
easy.
they're sort of quite self-contained.
Yeah,
half an hour. 20 minutes.
Yeah, I find that it's just very successful, very easy to watch, very Americanized, isn't it? So
it's a bit like the US Office, although I think with Modern Family it sort of decides it's a mockumentary until it's not. Yeah, they sort of waver on the documentary format a little bit, but it's all for the purposes of good scripting.
It's just a bit of a juggernaut, isn't it? I think it's. Like you say, it is. It's not for me. It's not as good as the American Office, but it's long running. It's got a massive following now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think from a lot of sponsorship goes into it, so I can imagine that there is a lot of money to go through it.
And for its leads, obviously, there's going to be a lot of money in there. It turns out that the highest paid TV actor as well is Jim Parsons from Big Bang Theory. So there you go. If you're an actor on US TV, then
US
sitcoms are the place to be. Heard it here first. So in music news, the Arctic Monkeys are recording a new album. They've revealed that they started recording it and they're in the studio. Yeah,
Nick O'Malley is really the bassist. Nick O'Malley has confirmed that they have gone back into the studio, and it should be released in 2018 instead of 2017, which Matt Helders had suggested to a fan. So they were at a gig in LA, and a fan, Matt Helders was there, and a super fan had basically asked him for a picture. He goes on the Scummy Man on Instagram, and Matt Helders is there, and he doesn't look very interested, to be honest. He's got a beer in his hand, and this fan's obviously on at him, asking him when the new music is, and he's probably just said soon, and that's that basically.
And then that's news.
Yeah, so
and that's how news is made. Just a drummer being sick of fans and going soon. It won't be long. Yeah,
it is something I am so excited about. Arctic Monkeys are my band. I'd like to sing. I said this to my girlfriend, and she was like, "What do you mean they're not your band?" But they're the band that got me into guitar music. They was like the window for me into getting into all the other music that I now love. So I am really excited, and for me, AM was an absolutely brilliant album.
I thought that too, actually. I thought that was their best one. I know everyone likes the first 2, 3.
Yeah.
But AM, to me was probably the best.
The things with Arctic Monkeys, what I like, and it sort of got me more into it, was they did the first 2 albums, which everyone loved, and then the third album was Humbug. And a lot of people didn't really like it, and it was a lot heavier, but I still sort of got into it. And then I think the best thing about them is that a lot of their albums don't sound the same. They they go for a different sound a lot of the time, and they are different. I think
most of the time you can tell if you take a song off their first album and one off their fourth album, you can tell which one it's off. Just from the sound alone.
I don't think because there are a lot of other bands which I think a lot of songs do sound the same, and they don't really try to change it up, and that's something that I admire a lot from Arctic Monkeys. So yeah, I am really excited for it. I can't wait. It's been far too long.
It has been far too long. Anyway, into the TV reviews.
TV.
So we've been watching Back this week, haven't we? The new Mitchell & Webb sitcom.
So, Dad, there's something I need to...
Can't believe Dad is gone.
Sorry, do I know you?
I'm your brother.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. What did you think of it?
I also enjoyed it. I don't think it's quite on par with Peep Show for me. I mean, I'm a big Peep Show fan, so... But I don't think it quite lives up to that. But
no, I never gave Peep Show enough time, to be honest. I watched a few of it and I just thought it was a bit overrated, but after watching back, I think I will actually go back into watching Peep Show.
I see what you did there. I very much see
we need a radio bell. Ding ding ding. Great radio.
Danny's done a pun.
But yeah, I do enjoy it. I think it's very easy to watch. It's very middle of the ground, should we say, middle of the road, sorry. But it is easy, and it's got a bit of a plot to it, hasn't it?
It has, I suppose. So the setup basically is that Stephen, his dad dies, and at his funeral,
so yeah,
that's David Mitchell's character. Yeah, and at his funeral, his brother, his foster brother, basically, he was Andrew. He was fostered by his dad for a little bit,
about 2 or 3 months, wasn't it?
Yeah, about 2 or 3 months when they were kids.
Yeah.
So Stephen really doesn't remember him at all, but Andrew sort of says that it was the best time of his life, and he's come back because he's died. And
he vividly remembers a time, and basically, after the death of his father, they had a pub landlord. So Stephen is more, he's threatened, isn't he, that he's trying to take over, and basically the family all like Andrew better than Stephen don't they? So
that's sort of the point, in that it is quite absurd in that it sort of does the over the top, how are they still liking everything that he says sort of thing. So you're meant to empathise with David Mitchell's character more than Robert Webb's.
Stephen, David Mitchell's character refers to Andrew as a glib, a dangerous sociopath who's about to steal his family, his business, and his life. So it sort of goes on from there, doesn't it? Like
it does, and I don't think there's 3 episodes out so far. I don't think there's been that much sort of progression in the sort of setup. It's just sort of the first one. He comes back, and their sort of personalities clash, and the family likes him more, and it hasn't really moved on from that yet, apart from sort of implying that David Mitchell's character is becoming more unhinged in proving that he's not who he says he is, basically.
There's a lot more questions to be asked, isn't there? Like it's nowhere near, I don't know, like you say, there are the funny moments, but you don't really know where it's going to go, and that's the thing what's probably worrying me. I'm thinking I'm putting my time and effort into this, but I don't really know what's going to happen. Is it just going to...
Yeah, it could sort of peter out, but it depends how they decide to end it. Like maybe they'll introduce plot at the end, sort of thing, or maybe they'll go for the sort of typical Peep Show depressing things are back where they started angle. But either way, Mitchell and Webb have sort of suggested that they might be coming back for another series of Peep Show, which is quite funny to say that they ended like a few years ago.
Yeah. Do you not think that might be a bad move? Like they're trying to
possibly. I mean, they did bring it to a sort of final end.
Yeah. So
and bringing things back is usually a bad idea.
Yeah, I think that it's probably best leaving it there. Like.
I think so, but if it's popular, then they won't stop making it.
Yeah, it's. I'll always go back to sort of like Phoenix Nights. Like I'd love that to go to come back, but then there's the problem that it might make it worse. It might detract from the original.
Yeah, that is true. I think going back to back, if you see what I did there.
Ding ding ding.
It does. It does sort of like. I think first of all the sort of gimmick, as it were, the visual, first person perspective things that made Peep shows that look so unique, and it sort of made it stand out from every other sort of sitcom around at that time. That, and as well Sam Bain's writing style.
Yeah.
You can tell it's not there. I mean, Simon Blackwell is definitely a great writer, and it is great. It is a clever script with lots of one-liners that are very David Mitchell and Robert Webb-esque. Yeah. just their interactions. I could watch them sit and read a phone book because...
Don't get me wrong, there are some points in it where I do laugh out loud and I do find it really funny, but they are few and far between, I would say. But yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I do like it. And
no, definitely. I'd still definitely recommend it. It's definitely worth a watch, but it's probably not something that that you'd go back and rewatch again and again.
Yeah, it's sort of it's grabbed me, and I've invested in the characters, and I like the characters enough to want to carry on watching.
Definitely, yeah. I've invested in it, but it's probably Yeah,
I struggle to. I don't think I would like be the. I don't think it'd be the first thing I'd be desperate to tell people about.
Yeah,
that makes
say
sense.
It's good, and then recommend that they watch it. So consider that a recommendation. So speaking of Sam Bain, he's gone on to other things. He wrote Ill Behaviour, which was broadcast on BBC Two. It's finished now, but it's been on. I think it's on iPlayer for another week. So if you wanted to catch that, then.
Yeah, you was the one who recommended this to me, and we both watched it so we could chat about it today. And it impressed me. I did like it. I sort of lost interest midway through a little bit, but it grabbed me again, and I think it finished well on cliffhangers on the end of each episode. Well, the first two episodes.
We should say it is a comedy drama. It's not necessarily, or a comedy thriller, if you will.
Yeah.
But it's not really a straight sitcom sort of setup.
It is a completely different outlook compared to back. It is.
Yeah. It's more dark humour, I guess. There's a focus on, and more sort of the humour sort of comes from how messed up the plot is rather than how.
Yeah. I think. I wish I'd have read or listened to something before I watched it, because I went in there cold and I just thought it was a drama, and I was thinking, and it sort of did make me laugh a bit, but then I was like a bit confused by it, and I didn't really know what it was trying to be. I think if you go in
expecting either a comedy or a drama, then you might be disappointed. But if you go in expecting a sort of fusion, then you'll like it, because Sam Bain's witty dialogue's still there. It's still, that's where most of the humour comes from, and
yep. So and basically, there's a group of three friends who all knew each other from college and uni, and Joel, who is the oldest friends with Charlie, he is going through a divorce, isn't he? And he finds out that Charlie and his other best friend both really didn't like his wife. And basically, as this is happening, Charlie then gets diagnosed with cancer, and instead of going for chemotherapy, he's going for a natural.
Yeah, he takes up homeopathy, and basically his friends are well against it because the chemo has like a 94% chance of working.
Yeah.
Whereas, obviously, they don't trust homeopathy. That's not the accepted thing, and
I think as well is Charlie's argument is that his mum had chemo and it absolutely ruined her.
He basically doesn't want to be ill, and there is
the argument
for part of, as a comedy sort of thing. It's quite a deep topic to be talking about, a serious topic, and it doesn't really, like, if you say, oh, it's a comedy drama about cancer, then you'd think, oh, that could be a bit insensitive. But it's really not.
No, yeah, I don't think it actually. It doesn't make fun.
It doesn't make fun of
like
cancer
that.
or
And
anything
it's
like that. No.
I think that sort of that's what threw me a bit when I was thinking, is this a comedy or is it what is it? Because it is a serious subject to talk about and do.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think it hits it pretty right. Like it hits the
tonally.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. But anyway, so they kidnap Charlie and force him to have chemotherapy in a house in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
And then there are whole other. Yeah, we won't spoil it too much, will we? But yeah.
So that's the basic setup, and yeah, I really like it. I think it's well acted, well directed. It's more shot like a drama than a standard sitcom. Yeah,
it is very ridiculous. Like it's, I text Billy during the week as we were watching it, and I was like, "This is absolutely ridiculous." I think that's why when I was flagging on the show, and I was like, "Oh, is this any good or not?" But I must have liked it because I watched it within like I watched it at night, and then I watched the next 2 episodes in the morning. I hammered for it, and it is good. It's yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely it's something different. It's something that you might not have seen anything like before. And again, like with Back, if you enjoyed Peep Show, then you might like this. It's definitely different, and it's definitely something. But I found that I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. I did enjoy it, and I think I like a sort of program which is different and it asks questions of you, like you don't really know what to make
like
of
the
it.
whole homeopathy thing. That's sort of a real debate that you could have if your friend's into homeopathy. And fair enough if they're like trying to cure their cold with it or something, you'd think. But when it's life and death, literally with cancer, you're thinking you don't want to put your life in the hands of something that's not scientifically proven.
Yeah, no, it asks a lot of moral questions, doesn't it? And I think it's good.
Very good, wholehearted recommendation from me. You're sort of a bit.
I'm a bit more on the fence.
You're a bit more on the fence,
but I did like it, and I would say to people to give it a go. Make your own mind upon it, really. But I didn't love it, but I did enjoy it, I would say. Film.
So, moving on to film
reviews.
Now. I saw Stephen King's It last week.
Yeah.
And it was okay.
Hiya, Georgie. What a nice boat. Do you want it back?
Yes, please.
You look like a nice boy. Do you want a balloon too, Georgie?
I'm not supposed to take stuff from strangers.
Oh, well, I'm Pennywise the dancing clown. Now we aren't strangers, are we?
I should get going now.
Oh, without your boat? Here. Take it.
What do you think? I've not watched it. I am self-confessed that I do not like scary films. I am of the thought that if you want to be scared, why would you? I just don't know why you'd want to put yourself through it. But I've also heard that this isn't that scary.
Not really. I'll say it's more of a Goonies style adventure film. That's like that takes up the majority, but then obviously with some gore, I guess.
Right.
It's I think it is a horror film in some bits, but if you go in expecting to be constantly scared, I found myself laughing at more of the bits that were supposed to be scary. But like I don't know, it was probably intentional that it looks kind of silly, like you know, it's a dancing clown, but just the way he moves towards people when he attacks them, it's so sort of roundabout and like you could just go for them straight away. You could go for them right there, but he goes, "Rah!" And it's just like, and I get, okay, so the cop out for the film is that Pennywise, the dancing clown, feeds off fear, so he needs to scare you before he kills you or whatever.
All right.
So
if he's dancing around, that's just not going to scare you, is it?
It is if you're scared of clowns. He's supposed to embody what you're scared of the most. So this one kid's scared of clowns, so it's clowns.
Yeah, there is a big clown phobia, isn't there? Like a lot of people really don't like clowns.
And lots of clowns have been kicking off about this, haven't they? Well, some of them have been kicking off. Have you not seen the article? There's lots of clowns saying that it gives them a bad name, and that it's just perpetuating the fear of clowns that people have.
Yeah.
And it's stopping them from getting work. But then again, on the other side of the coin, there are people that went to clown-only screenings of it, where everyone dressed up as clowns and went to scare themselves silly.
Yeah. I remember being a kid at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and there was a clown in, like, it was just like a robot, and it used to laugh, like cackle, as you were walking in there, and it really used to scare me.
I don't see why they're a kids like thing, really. I don't really know of any kids that are like, oh yeah, clowns, I love clowns, aren't they the best?
Yeah, there was a craze actually a few years back where there would be people dressed up as clowns.
Yeah, the
chasing
murder
people.
clowns.
Yeah,
that are just like look at you through your window or something.
Yeah.
See, it's Pennywise, feeds off fear.
But I did you ever see some of them videos, and like they were like stood there like just trying to scare people, obviously.
Yeah.
I would have just chased them and run at them, see what they'd do.
Well, you would.
I was just thinking they're not gonna. Like I saw a few videos where the clown sprinted off when someone confronted them. But that is it. They feed off fear.
That is it.
And
maybe that echoes in the film. I'm not going to spoil the film, but maybe that echoes in the film once you're not scared of it anymore. Yeah. So back to the film, the actual film.
Yeah.
It is. I think if you go into it expecting a horror film, like I said, you'll be disappointed. But obviously, you don't take your kids to go see it.
Yeah.
Because it has still got creepy bits in it. But I think what hindered it more for me was the sort of pre-release hype of this being the scariest film ever, and also all of a sudden everyone cared about the 90s version, like the old film. No one was really. People seem to remember Tim Curry as Pennywise, and that's about it.
Do you think it compares to the 90s film, or is it as good as?
I've not actually seen the 90s film, but
right.
Apparently it was a bit rubbish, apart from Tim Curry's performance.
Yeah.
And Bill Skarsgård is good as Pennywise. He's got a creepy voice, I guess.
Yeah.
And it is quite funny in places, just him hamming it up and overacting, but that's what the part is.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. And I know it's been compared to Stranger Things a lot, and controversial opinion, Stranger Things isn't really my bag.
Oh, is it not?
It's not.
I really like it. It's one of the TV shows, that me and my girlfriend both agree on, and like usually with my girlfriend, she'll never want to watch more than 2 episodes in one day. But we hammered through Stranger Things and got it done in like a weekend.
Well, season 2 of that is coming out soon. Isn't it? Oh, is it out now?
I don't think it's out now. It's
out
soon,
definitely.
But yeah, I am really excited for that.
I don't know what it is. It's just never really been my thing. Just the sort of 80s, kids riding on bikes.
Yeah,
and
I think that's cool though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if that sort of aesthetic appeals to you, then because that's what doesn't appeal to me, and that's sort of the things that put me off about it. Because there are bits of it that are clearly meant to be funny, of like the kids talking to each other, mainly in the vein of your mum jokes, and it's like, yeah, that is how kids talk, but it doesn't mean that it's good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's realistic, but it was just really grating after a while.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I was just sort of like, I found myself rolling my eyes more than I did laughing at anything that the characters said.
Yeah. So I've just so you know, Stranger Things 2 is out on October the 31st.
There you go.
So we'll have to do a review of that.
Put that in your diary.
Although we already know your viewpoint on it. But
well, we do. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, people have been saying that it doesn't rely on jump scares all that much. I mean, there's a few in there, and it's like, yeah, but in the place of that, I suppose there's character things, and I've seen a lot of people praise it for its character work, but the thing that I found was that the characters weren't that well defined other than archetypes. Like, you know, you got the fat kid, the nerdy one, the one that has to have everything clean,
the jock.
The one that's sort of like, well, he's still a nerd, but he sort of like takes the mick out of the other nerds.
Yeah.
And girl, obviously.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. Apparently Stephen King was really, really sort of insistent that it had to be like the book, and that they couldn't change that much at all. And that's fair enough, you know. I mean, like I said, it's fine.
Yeah.
But like,
do you feel like it's a bit disappointing? Like it could have been better. Like it could have been worked to be better.
Maybe so. Because like I said, the characters just feel like archetypes, and they don't really go beyond that. They're just sort of what they are. They don't really go any deeper. And I get it. There's backstories and there's things that make them as supposed to sort of explain the behaviour, but I think that just sort of is a bit glossed over. The other thing in the film is that all the parents in Derry, Maine are really bad at parenting. Like they're just all the worst. They're either like abusive or neglectful, or just like really don't care, or they just don't understand the kids at all.
Yeah.
It's quite scary how
how bad parenting is.
How bad the parenting in that town is. And
which leads the kids to
Pennywise.
Yeah.
There you go. So everyone was really surprised at the end that it said it chapter 1. But you know, they only did half the book, so like, it'd make sense.
Yeah. What? Sorry.
There's going to be a second one released in,
right.
I think it's 6th of September 2019. It's a few years away,
right.
Yet, anyway. They only gave a release date for the other day. But yeah, I'll probably go watch it because, like I said, it was alright. I don't think I'm on board with it as much as most people are.
No, I feel like you made me want to watch it because I found out it's not that scary.
And it's like Stranger Things, which you like.
Yeah. So
and it's I was probably expecting it because everyone was saying, oh, it's really good. When I went in, I was probably expecting it to be more good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everyone likes Stranger Things, and that's the sort of thing. I watched it a bit after everyone else, and I was like, is this it?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. It does. To be totally honest, but the Stranger Things, like
the strange thing about Stranger Things,
the link with Stranger Things sort of makes sense because there was a massive like furore about Stranger Things when it came out, and I could see it all over Facebook, all over Twitter, everyone going on about it, and the same with it and the 80s themes as well.
Yeah. And I don't really know where that stems from because there's sort of people our age that like it, that weren't alive in the 80s.
Yeah.
That are sort of like, oh yeah, but I guess it's from films like Goonies and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so we'll see, eh?
We'll see. It's already been the highest grossing horror film ever or something.
Ever?
I think so. Don't quote me on that. I mean, I'm only doing some last minute research. But I'm pretty. It's one of the big earners I know, and for a horror film, I mean, they're usually not that big of earners for a studio, but maybe this one. But yeah, like I was saying about it being similar to the book, like it's quite admirable if they stick into the source material, sort of beat for beat. I know they cut some stuff out, but it doesn't make it good that they stuck to it. It doesn't automatically mean it's the best film ever because they stuck to the book. Like if they did a page by page adaptation, it wouldn't have meant. And you know, I mean, everything's okay. The child actors are good for child actors, I would say, because obviously it is. That's a notorious problem in films, that especially with the children lead. I thought they did a very good job with that. But yeah, I don't really love it as much as everyone does. I wouldn't call it the best horror film of the generation, or I think I saw someone call it that the other day.
No.
and I was like, it's good. It's just not great.
Yeah.
So, Kingsman, a film you have seen, on to.
Definitely. So we're going to cover Kingsman, The Secret Service, because we will be watching Kingsman, The
I'm
Golden
going
Circle.
to see it tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, so we'll have some talk about that next week as well, won't we? So yeah, we're going to talk about the first one, aren't we? So
we are indeed.
Manners maketh man. Do you know what that means? Then let me teach you a lesson.
yeah, Kingsman. Do you want to give it a bit of a brief overview? Or
An overview. If you haven't seen Kingsman, definitely watch it. It's a good watch. Again, I think it's good, not great. And I don't think many people are trying to say this is like the best film ever, though. I've not met anyone who goes, Kingsman is my favourite film.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it's not competent and it doesn't do it well.
No, yeah, there's good actors in it.
There's good actors,
yeah.
There's likeable characters,
yeah.
It's a fun film, basically, isn't
it? And there's lots of gadgets and cool spy,
it's basically,
geeky stuff in there.
It's basically a callback to old James Bond, but updating old James Bond to new James Bond.
Yeah, with
sort of taking the mick out of sort of the Daniel Craig Bond being more like Jason Bourne than actual James Bond. Then again, it's funny because James Bond, I think, has always been a sort of product of its time. Like with Moonraker and things, that comes off like the back of Star Wars, so they make it a sci-fi thing.
Yeah.
They and like now with Jason Bourne. They make Daniel Craig a Jason Bourne type of, all the quick cuts and the...
So there isn't any gadgets.
Espionage.
Yeah.
There's tiny gadgets, like a gun that only works for him.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, but there's nothing stupid like shoes with a poison blade in it, or the kind of nonsense that goes on in Kingsman, essentially. Yeah,
so it's a really fun... I think it's probably... The best description is like a fun family movie, because I think... my family actually enjoyed it.
Well, yeah. I mean, don't you take your kids to see it again?
No, yeah.
It is a 15.
Yeah, well, yeah, actually.
And lots of bloody violence and swearing.
Yeah, an older family. But yeah, it's something I could watch with my mum and dad. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Like that sort of film. So basically, Taron Egerton he plays Eggsy, and he's basically like a young tearaway, isn't he?
He's a bit of a...
He's a wrong 'un.
He's a wrong 'un.
And then he's sort of called up to the Kingsman, which is an international intelligence service founded by wealthy British individuals,
which are independent, by the way. They make quite a big point of that they're not doing it for Queen and Country or whatever. That they're like doing it for for the world. They're saving the world.
Yeah, and that is run by Harry Hart, who is Colin Firth, isn't it? Colin Firth's character. And he's the old gentleman who uses his umbrella as a main weapon, doesn't he?
He does, indeed. One of the many gadgets. So it's basically a sort of coming-of-age story. I only watched it last week for the first time, actually. Sort of, because I don't know why I didn't watch it when it came out, but sort of in preparation for the second one, I was like, I better watch this. But I thought it was really good. I wasn't expecting the sort of amount of Hogwarts things that happen in the second act. The sort of like, it's like Trials in a teen movie where they're all in school together, and you got the ones that bully him, and the girl who's sympathetic towards him, and
yeah, I know what you mean. At the start of it, it sort of grabbed me. Just like it is the standard hero, like hero to zero, zero to hero.
Hero to zero. That's a subversion of the narrative that we've come to know and love.
Yeah.
But
what's not to like about that for me?
It doesn't have lofty ambitions. It doesn't
No.
try to be anything more than it is, and that's probably the thing that
Yeah.
I like most about it, as well as the very well directed action. By the way, the scene in the church is probably
Yeah.
the best action scene to ever take place in a church. That's because it's the only one I can think of that takes
Yeah.
place in a church.
Yeah, it is. It is a really good action movie.
Yeah,
me.
and at the end where he's sort of in a James Bond-esque cave base that looks a bit plasticky and
Yeah.
fake, and all the henchmen dressed in like similar jumpsuit. It is quite funny, isn't it?
Yeah. And then there is Samuel L. Jackson's character, who is what was he?
Richmond Valentine.
Richmond Valentine. Yes, he is the evil guy, isn't he? He's the villain.
He's the villain, as it were.
Yeah, and he's there to end the world for all the poor people, basically, isn't he? Basically,
yeah, essentially.
And
he's like Mark Zuckerberg crossed with Dr. Evil from Austin Powers.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Yeah. So he makes a free SIM card that can give you free calls and free internet, and then he makes a chip in them go.
Yeah,
that makes everyone
so
go mate.
he sort of turns it on, and everyone who has this SIM card goes mental, and violently mental, and starts killing each other because his view is that the world is overcrowded, and
that's the only way to stop carbon emissions, etc.
Yeah. So and then it's down to Eggsy, our
hero to zero, our protagonist Zero that we have.
Yeah.
It's down to him.
Our lovable rogue.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, it's a straightforward film. Got some great action in it. Some really well directed stuff in there, and a woman with swords for legs, which is something that you don't see in every film. So yeah, definitely. I think it's not quite a parody of James Bond, or not as much as it seems when you first sort of explain the premise like that, but it's more of its standalone thing. Yeah, that sort of apes the style of James Bond. Or the older James Bonds, at least. Yeah, I think that as well. And it has. I don't think it's afraid to laugh at itself, and that's the best quality about the film. Definitely. I
think they know it's a bit far fetched and everything.
It doesn't take itself too seriously. And there's a point where Colin Firth's character sat down with Samuel L. Jackson's character, and he says something about, "Do you like spy films?" And it's like really on the nose, and it is what it is. It's fun. Yeah. It's great. So looking forward to the second one. Although the second one hasn't been getting great reviews. It's been a bit mixed.
It's a very star-studded cast, isn't it? It's got.
It is. It's got lots of cameos, which we shouldn't spoil.
Yeah.
But I'm still looking forward to seeing it, even though some of the trailers spoiled some of the cameos as well.
I didn't know it had a lot of cameos. There is definitely Channing Tatum and Halle Berry in there, isn't there? And Taron Egerton and Colin Firth. There is. I can't wait to watch this as well, Billy. But yeah, so we will give you our review of that as well over next week.
Yeah, see if it's as much of a flop as everyone said. Well, not a flop. It's probably still going to make a lot of money. Yeah. But the critical reception has been
not
quite
very
mixed. Good. I mean, it's got 50%. It's at 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's. I think compared to the first one, I'm not sure how much the first one got, but it was higher than that, I'm sure. But maybe that's why people are so quick to sort of hate it, or not hate it, but be disappointed in it, because the first one was good. Yeah. I'm quite a fan of Matthew Vaughn.
75% on.
Yeah, the first one's at 74%, and.
But IMDb rated it similar, 7.7 for the first one and 7.3 for the second. Yeah. So it's not that much of a difference.
It's not like I say, it's a bit mixed.
Yeah, I think what might be the problem is that it pleasantly surprised the viewer, the first one, and then you're sort of expecting a bit better. And I think
that might be the case too, because no one really expected it to be good.
Yeah.
Well, no one had high hopes for it to be good. It could just come out of nowhere. And
and then it actually is pretty good. So
yeah,
we'll wait and see. But thanks for listening this week.
Yeah, that's where we draw it to a close.
Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I hope you've enjoyed our reviews. We will be back next week to bring you another show.
So hopefully see you next week.
Bye. You're listening to Ear to the Ground podcast.